And Dale, talk about the test so far. I know you tire tested back here in December. You've been on the track a little bit this morning. Talk about the number 88 car. How you doing?
Yeah, it's going good, I guess. We just made about 4 or 5 runs. Nothing real serious yet, I guess. Just getting a little bit of data and making a couple little changes here and there. But the track's in pretty good shape, and looks like the 24-hour test and just a bit of time that it's been since the tire test we had in December, the track's starting to change a little bit, and it was smooth as glass when we first tried it in December, and it's starting to become a little more rigid in places and change color in places. So it's not much else to report, to be honest with you. In the first half of this day, just went out and cleared the car, got the clearances and got the ground clearances and everything good, and they changed a couple things and see what it did, and make some notes and sit down and eat some lunch.
All right, we'll take a few questions for Dale. We'll start with this gentleman right here. Raise your hand, then we'll go to Jeff. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Dale. John Nevins, CaptainThunderRacing.com. 2 years ago in the media center here, I asked you, when you roll into this place, how much do you think of your dad, and do you think about him every day? And you answered me, yes, I think about him every day. Is that still the case right now? And what would your dad have thought of the new paved speedway? Thank you.
I think, he would think they did a good job. He would think the obvious things is they did a good job, and it looks, it was about probably time for it to happen. And I was surprised they didn't pave the infield. I didn't know that till I talked to somebody that tested here for the 24 hours. But I'm sure they threw away more asphalt than it would have took to put some asphalt down on that thing in there. But you think about your parents all the time. I think about him, my mother, all the time, and especially getting back to racing, and I guess you think about them just as much in the off season too. But I think I was I think that he would appreciate what they did with the paving and the job they did, and hopefully the track puts on a good race and it holds up well. And I mean, it's going to get the bumps back, and it'll get the over the next several years, it'll age a little bit, especially being down here next to the beach and the sand and stuff. It'll age and get slick and be the old Daytona that a lot of people appreciated. And it'll get some of the bumps back that make the racing dicey in spots around the corners. So
let's go, Jeff. Let's go with Jeff, and then we'll go with Claire, and then Lee. Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff Clark from SBNation.com. The Redskins have had a lot of coaches the last few years and had a lot of changes, and you probably get optimistic every time a new coach comes in. Yep. Similarly, you've had a few new crew chiefs here. Mm-hmm. For your fans that are skeptics or kind of doubting things, what have you seen so far that you could tell them, give them hope that it's going to be different this time, or that there's something that's changed, or something along those lines? Sure.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy, Jeff, to be honest. Every year as a Redskins fan, you sort of go through those. I got an app on my phone that pretty much pushes anything that, if they're mentioned on the internet, I get the news, and you're just waiting on one of those articles to tell you about some big free agency pickup or what their plans are in the draft. And and you piece everything together before the season starts and start to form your idea whether you think they're a better team or not, and whether sometimes you think, this is a better team. Sometimes you think this isn't the right way to go, but you're still a fan, and you still decide, regardless of whether you like their quarterback or you think they got a good receiving core or not. You still, as a fan, decide to go into the season just as devoted and ready for success or the same failure. But with our team, and it's a new deal, and I was joking with somebody in the truck earlier. I was sitting in the seat in the garage, up in the lounge, and they asked me if that was going to be my seat, and I told them I'm not sure I've found exactly where my seat is yet. I'm just sort of floating around, and that's the way I feel about the team. I'm still learning everybody, still learning the guys, still learning who does what their personalities are, and it's been fun getting to know Steve more, and he's got a great personality, a lot of energy, and hopefully, I can depend on that energy in certain times throughout certain races. When you need somebody to gear you up and let you see things a little differently than you see at the time. Maybe he can, keep me on my toes, be a cheerleader or whatever you want to call it. But they seem focused and they seem ready to go. I'm really, sick of how we've ran over the last several years and ready to see something different, ready to get to the track and see different results. And, it's just, we'll just have to see how it goes. It's just toughest part about all that, being a race fan or Redskins fan, is the waiting. So, fortunately for NASCAR, you don't have to wait very long.
Okay, we're on a bit of time crunch here. We got three more. Let's go Claire, Lee, and then George.
Claire Lang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. To help with the football analogy, I'm from Green Bay, and they sucked for 20 years, and now they're back in the playoffs, so there's great hope. Hopefully they'll progress on from there. But, I want to ask you if you know what it is that you need yet. And do you need a crew chief to drive you? Do you need improvement here or there? Denny Hamlin was saying he didn't think about NASCAR during the off-season. Did you think about it a lot during the off-season? Were you able to cut yourself from it? And do you know what exactly you need?
I don't know exactly what the perfect match is, but I'm game for trying anything out and moving around and shaking it up a little bit and changing the scope of the team however they want to change it. I'm pretty much up for any of that. But I don't know how much. I don't really break it down that much. Whether I think about, I assume I think about racing in the off season because it's what I do for a living. And everywhere you turn, that's what you're looking at. But I don't know. I don't know how you could call the last 20 years of being a Green Bay fan too rough. You haven't been a Redskins fan, but it's been quite difficult. But I'd give anything to have a quarterback like you got.
Let's go Lee, George, Jenna. Quickly, please.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. I was listening to a tape of an interview I did with your dad in January of 2001. He said after he and Billy Jr. were gone that he didn't think that the sport would change. It would just go on without him. What dramatic changes have you seen since your daddy passed?
Well, I think the sport has gone on just fine. Been very successful, more successful than I think any of us ever imagined. And, there's been a lot of good changes. There were a lot of changes in the sport prior, during his reign as champion and through the years that he raced here. There were a lot of changes related to him, unrelated to him, and the same thing after his death. And, I'm real proud to be a part of what the sport represents, and I'm proud to be associated and connected to everyone involved in the garage and the media center. This has been a hell of a trip, and, hopefully it keeps going. Hopefully we stay successful. The environment changes all the time financially, and we just weather the storm however we have to. But I think we're in good shape, to be honest with you. I mean, it's been kind of tough the last couple of years with the economy, but for the most part, this sport is pretty resourceful or whatever. So I feel pretty good, pretty comfortable where I'm at and how I'm involved in it.
All right, George, ended with Jenna. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, Dale, earlier, obviously you mentioned about thinking about your dad every day. We're all shaped by our parents. What takeaway influences do you have growing up, and what your dad meant to you and how he shaped who you are now?
Well, I don't really. He was a lot of things to a lot of different people, and I just wanted to be. He was so. He was intimidating, like they say, and he was like that as a father when he was at home. You wanted to please him all the time, make him happy, and you wanted to, whatever you did, you wanted it to somehow get a response from him, So I think as I was growing up, you tried to get away and do your own thing and have fun as a kid, but at the same time, you wanted to make your parents proud, and you wanted to. You sort of found your direction by listening to them inadvertently, whether you wanted to or not. They sort of helped you find whatever it is you wanted to achieve in life. And my dad was there to guide me in a lot of good directions that helped me out a lot. And I think that I tried to have some of the same good qualities that he had. I felt that I liked the qualities that I enjoyed about him. I tried to emulate those best I could and try to keep those qualities as well, because I felt like it made him a good person.
Final question, go ahead.
Jennifer Iyer, Associated Press. Dale, last season, Rick had he said that last year it wouldn't fail, it couldn't fail, and ultimately it didn't work. But in a way,
I'm sure a lot of people expect nothing more than we did last year. So, and last year we were kind of out of the radar, which was kind of fun. I mean, it's a lot less garbage to deal with when you're not in the radar. But, I don't know. I just feel like that. I don't know what the reasons were for me and Lance and that group as a whole not working out. I really enjoyed Lance, and I think we're still great friends today, and I think he has a lot of talent, but it just didn't work. So for whatever reason, I feel good about the position I'm in now, and I feel pretty confident about it, and I'm looking forward to going into the season and working hard for it. So we'll just see how it goes. When you're running good, you can put up about anything. It's not fun being on the radar when you run like crap. So, but last year we sort of fell off the radar altogether, and I don't know. I want to be in racing for a very long time, and I know that I can drive good enough to run well, and I'll stick around until I get it right, and it's just eventually going to have to happen.
Dale, thank you so much. Good luck in your quest to win the 53rd running of the Daytona 500. Thank you, man.